For more on this, I'm joined by our correspondent Nick Harper, and he is in Washington. In the last few hours, Nick, there has been an unexpected twist in this deal with Paramount's hostile bid. Can you tell us a little bit more?
That's right, Leigh-Ann. Certainly a bit of a surprise, this one. Somewhat unexpected, considering the fact that that Netflix deal had been agreed by Warner Brothers. Paramount was the studio that lost out on the bidding war, losing out to Netflix, but now it's swooping in, hoping to try and offer this hostile bid. We're hearing that Paramount is offering more per share, $30 per share, compared to Netflix, $27.75 per share. And also, this would be a larger deal in terms of what Paramount would hope to take. Netflix deal means that it will be taking the TV and streaming services from Warner Brothers. Paramount, instead, though, wants to take absolutely everything, the full package, including the cable channels currently owned by Warner Brothers. In terms of the funding for all of this, we're hearing that Paramount would front money coming from Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and the UAE, and also money coming from Affinity Partners. That's an investment firm that's headed up by the son-in-law of the US President Donald Trump, Jared Kushner. It is a very sizable package. It's unclear exactly how successful this takeover bid might be, and it could potentially lead to a very messy and very public series of negotiations and discussions to try and force this through and get rid of that Netflix deal.
Fascinating stuff, Nick, but this comes after President Trump seemed sceptical on the next Netflix deal. What did he have to say about that deal?
That's right. He was asked by reporters exactly what he thought about all this. He said it could be a problem. The reason being, quite simply, Netflix would have a huge monopoly. He put it down to them having a very big market share, because there is that fear from industry insiders that simply Netflix would just own and control too much of the industry and potentially could move it in a direction that perhaps traditional studios don't want. Donald Trump also saying that he wants to be part of the decision-making in all of this. He says that he's going to be consulting with some economists, and he does want to be involved in the decision. The final decision, of course, is still needed in order to get this Netflix deal approved.
And the deal, of course, still needs to go through regulatory approval. How difficult could this be, considering competition?
Well, the competition, the antitrust element of all of this, the fact that there will be this huge monopoly that Netflix will have. There are various hoops that need to be jumped through. Now, normally US presidents would not get involved in these sort of mergers or deals. But of course, Donald Trump, he has that business background. He loves to get involved. We're told that there has even been, at the highest level, lobbying from Netflix, the CEO reportedly coming to the White House in November to speak to Donald Trump to try and help ease the passage of this deal. But then there's also the possibility that Netflix would need approval from the European Commission, from other governments around the world as well. And interesting to note, now there is this Paramount bid, there could potentially be a conflict of interest, considering some of the funding would be coming from Jared Kushner. Unclear exactly where that would put Donald Trump if he were to be one of the people involved in the decision-making of who takes over Warner Brothers. But Donald Trump has in the past been involved in these big type of mergers. Back in July, he was involved in giving the approval for Paramount to combine with Skydance. And at the time, Paramount paid Donald Trump $16 million, funds that will go towards his future presidential library. That was all to do with how an interview with Kamala Harris, his rival in last year's election, was edited. But certainly it seems like it did ease the way in terms of Donald Trump giving sign-off for that deal for Paramount.
It's absolutely fascinating stuff, Nick. It could make for a Netflix drama, dare I say it. But let's just talk about one other thing that's been happening today. The Golden Globe nominations have just been announced, and there are plenty of Netflix productions nominated. Who's leading the different categories?
That's right, Leigh-Ann. Amazingly, we're already at that part in the year where we're talking about awards ceremony. And of course, the Golden Globes really kicks off awards season. So it's really a first take on who is leading the pack in terms of the actors, but also the productions who could scoop the awards. Golden Globes take place on January the 11th. In terms of leading the pack, most nominations in total goes to Paul Thomas Anderson's movie One Battle After Another, picking up 9 nominations. Of course, Leonardo DiCaprio, the main actor in that one. Sentimental Value has 8 nods. And then Sinners, the vampire movie that centres around racism in the south of America, has 7. Those are the movies. In terms of the TV shows, White Lotus, HBO's production, has 6 in total. Of course, HBO would be part of that Netflix deal that it would take ownership of if it manages to secure that. And there are some sizable Netflix shows nominated as well. Limited series Adolescence has 5 nods. That's the second place down from White Lotus, and also Beast in Me. But interesting to note, when it comes to studio nominations, Netflix hasn't done particularly well. Neon, that's an indie production house, leads the way in terms of studios. 21 nominations in total. Then Warner Brothers with 16, and then Netflix with 13. And just a couple of notable snubs in all of this. Wicked, the second instalment of that movie, Wicked for Good, that did not receive a Best Film nomination. The Netflix movie J. Kelly, starring George Clooney and Adam Sandler, didn't get any Best Drama nominations. And Superman, the big movie of the summer, no nominations at all. So a very big snub there for that movie.
And there's a new category this year. What do we know about it?
Yeah, interesting, this one. It's a podcasting category. The Golden Globes, of course, traditionally looks at both film and TV, unlike the Oscars that just concentrates on movies. Golden Globes really showing how important the podcasting genre has become in recent times. If we think back this time 12 months ago, how influential many podcasts were when it came to the 2024 political election. There were some right-wing conservative podcasters out there really helping to propel Donald Trump to the White House. But there were snubs for those right-wing conservative hosts of those podcasts, including Joe Rogan, Ben Shapiro, Tucker Carlson. In total, the Golden Globes seem to be looking more towards personality-driven podcasts and shying away from those political ones. So the ones that have been nominated, there was a total of 25 shows that are eligible, 6 in the category, including Alex Cooper's Call Her Daddy, Good Hang with Amy Poehler, and also Smartless by Will Arnett and Jason Bateman. But all of it very much showing podcasting, hugely influential, hugely important, something that many people are tapped into nowadays.
I must say something, Nick. I absolutely love Call Her Daddy. It's such a great podcast. I was very happy to see that it was nominated. Thank you so much for all of that news for us. Thanks, Nick.